What is up, and welcome to this American Horror Story episode 7 breakdown and review. The show has somewhat taken a bit of a quality dip in the middle of the season after starting strong, but does this episode improve it? No, not particularly. It was really dull, sick and disturbing. Got no problem with sick and disturbing as long as it is an entertaining story, but this really had nothing going for it and doesn't really fit the AHS world. There was no supernatural. However, here we open in Maine in 1998 and a woman has been murdered while a kid comes up to her. We learn that this is the woman who is the protagonist of this episode, and she goes on to be a funeral person. A mortician is the better word there. And I believe I Would Die For You plays by Garbage, which is an amazing band and probably one of the best Bond theme artists of all time. We learn later in the episode that she wanted to become a mortician because when she looked after her mother who had been murdered, she actually found to respect death, feeding her and living off of her. Now, in 2022, she talked to the funeral home director. She gets a raise and goes home to her husband and beautiful home. I just want a story where they live in a realistic kind of their home for their age there. He shies away from doing her. He blames the formaldehyde smell, and they're not in sync at all. She talks to her friends how they're just on different paths and they're clearly not meant to be together. And I find it really creepy how she talks about how much she likes the dead. Almost a jump scare happens as we get our gravedigger and antagonist, and he brings a new body and whispers it into its ear. Now, I was hoping for some kind of like reincarnated Egyptian death priest person who is bringing the dead to life or something. He seemingly has the same respect for the dead that she does. He thanks the person for being part of their death journey, as he mentions that it is an honour to be part of it. Now, I was really hoping, like I said, for some supernatural stuff, but no, he was just a real creep who is just an absolute bizarre person who wants to unlock her also debased and horrible kind of things that she wants to do. She finally has her bath and seduces her partner. She's not into it, but she's thinking about the weird new gravedigger. Those two talk about concepts of death and even Nelson's body being kept in brandy. Fun fact, I stood where his body was actually stood on the boat once. It was a pretty cool day out with my family. And they talk about the adventurous stuff they've done as they clearly have a spark. The actor and actress have some really good chemistry here that makes you believe that they really want to do it in a graveyard. He tells a story about his past and trauma led to him respecting death and what it means. After getting lost in his dreamy eyes, she gets brought back to reality by her equally hunky husband. But oh no, what a dilemma! Two good-looking guys are into this good-looking girl. Oh no. Can we have an American Horror Story that's just like normal-looking people? Not normal-looking, but like people you would see every day doing their shopping in Aldi. She starts to remember her mother being murdered that we saw at the start quite viscerally. Now, she's been triggered by the serial proposal left on the floor. Her fiance, or would-be fiance, thinks that, well, she loves the cereal, but it's actually just to honour her mother's death as it was her mother's favourite. He wants to marry her and she mugs her or him off and runs off to do some work on dead bodies. It's quite a way from staying late at the office to work on some spreadsheets. Well, turns out her new crush is, thought to be dead. At the time, I thought better rush back and say yes to the dress, honey. She gets incredibly horny while preparing his body and rides it. Oh God, I was done after this, and while this scene happened, I just thought, do you know what? Why am I covering this show? It is just awful. It's just awful. I could have had a lie-in. I get up every day at like 6:30 to do this, and I just think, enough of the existential crisis. I might do a Rings of Power video tomorrow. I actually liked that. Now, she's brought back down to reality as the guy moves, but it turns out that, well, no, he's not a supernatural person. He just took a pill online to make his heart rate go. It's sort of like Nikki and Paolo when they got that bite that turned them dead. Yeah, talking to people from TV you don't like. But yes, he did all the prosthetics and he wanted to kind of unlock her and thought that him being dead would make her, yeah. Anyway, cut to 2 months later, they actually, she goes on and she's accepted the proposal. She's morphed into what she thinks her fiance wants, but she's still seeing her old crush around. Predictably, having their wedding at the chapel, she used to work out that was a terrible idea, as the tape of her banging the crush plays. Her life is ruined and she's not been able to get a job. She's classed as a sex offender and goes to kill the guy who ruined her life. And she talks about, or they talk about their past and why they do what they do. And, well, yeah, I mean, she thinks that he ruined her life, but she did kind of have sex with a dead body, but she kills him and buries him. They can be together forever. Just, why am I watching this? Absolutely atrocious story. The acting, very, very good. The camera work, the writing for what it was, the dialogue, it was delivered well. But the story, no. But that is it for this video. Please drop a like if you enjoy the video and do subscribe with notifications on, and I'll see you soon. I will be back next week. I am addicted to the letdown, I think, at this point. Goodbye.